Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And today, I have a great guest on. Guy I've been wanting to talk to for a couple years now. His name is Mark Andrew Smith. I just want to let everybody know, please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let your friends know, and let anybody know who likes indie comics. Let them know we're here. Let them know that we're putting on these interviews for everyone. So, without further ado, here's Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. So let's get right into it. So Mark, like I said, I've been following you and I've been following your stuff for a few years now. Just awesome stuff, bro. Since out the gate, just top quality, great comics.
Okay,
So
appreciate it.
so now let me ask you a question. Like what got you like what was the genesis of you wanting to get into comics? Like what started you out? What were the books that really made you say, yeah, that's something I want to do and those are people I want to be involved with?
I think as a kid, like I was born about 1979, so I moved around a lot. So they had comic books in 7-Eleven and places like that. So I would just go grab comic books and just books and Mad magazines from those places. And as a really early reader and just get everything that I could and just read it as soon as possible. And then eventually I was in the before the 90s, and then the 90s came along, and then that was kind of an exciting time,
Mm,
for comics. And then I just fell out, and, comics just kind of disappeared, like for a time. And then when I was in school at UC Santa Barbara, I started like a comic club because I was interested in just drawing because I still enjoyed that part of it, just meeting other people that were into comic books. And one of the people in the comic club that I had, he actually is a Netflix producer now and has his own
no.
his EP on a show that's
Mm,
animated, which is pretty cool. But yeah, from the club we had a sponsor. So this guy Joe Palladino, he sponsored the club, and then. Basically, he told me about understanding comics and gave me that, and then I read through it, and then I was kind of excited because I was a film studies major, so I was like,
mm,
"Oh, this film theory, it applies to comics too," So I went and did a paper about like auteur theory, and got way into it. And then I kind of became like an indie. I discovered indie comics, and kind of became like an indie comics militant for a while. It
uh-huh.
was just like, this is great, and then I started in about 2000, 2002, just writing, my
Mm,
own stories, and then I teamed up with people to put stuff out, and then got stuff published, and then started publishing my own books.
cool. Now, what were some of the earlier books that you've done? Like your real early stuff that you published?
The earliest one it's called The Amazing Joy Buzzards.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a rock and roll band that travels around and solves mysteries. It's kind of like Scooby Doo with a luchador genie.
Cool.
So that was a fun book to do, but we never finished it. So I'm just trying to gradually finish it in the future. Or I think I'm gonna do like maybe 50 pages a year, like a one shot, and then
Mm,
have like a different artist, a different writer, different creative team, and then kind of start it where people could jump in and understand it. And then it also has the cool factor for what came before. And then, through that, we could potentially wrap it up, in a couple of years.
mm. Ah, that's cool. Now, you said you started off, you ended up becoming like really into indie comics. What were the indie comics you looked up to? Like, who were the creators and what were the books you really like? You say, yeah, that's the one I got to get every week or every month.
Um, yeah, I was a huge Jim Mahfood fan.
Hmm.
He was like one of my favorites. And then Scott Morse. And then a lot of the Oni books were really cool. Um, I loved Madman, but that's gone through like so many iterations of being indie to being published
Hmm.
here to moving there, and
Right.
then just a lot of the Dark Horse stuff too was pretty cool. But like, oh, and especially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like,
Right.
this is my favorite series of, where's my camera, of all time. Like,
Nice.
I love it. It's like the Bible to me, and I just reread, it every few years. And now that I've moved back to the States, I started to collect it again.
No, that's really cool, man. Yeah, because what's funny is it's because of them I got into indie publishing as well.
Okay, TMNT, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For a little bit of a different reason, because I was
All right.
about 15, 16 when they first came on the scene, and I saw their ad
I
in the
was
comic
too.
buyer's guide.
Yeah, I was a little late for it, but I found it around issue 18, I want to say, or issue 20, and then it was like the Von Bode issues,
Right,
which were like really awesome. Or not Von Bode, Mark Bode, his son.
Mark Bodie, yeah, his son.
Yeah, Mark Bode. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, yeah, those are incredible. But yeah, I saw that, and the second I saw it, I was like, you know what, I could do that, and here I am, stuck, still doing indie comics.
Eric Talbot did some amazing ones, and then Jim Lawson, the Return to New York storyline was amazing. And then he did some of the other ones, and his style just went like really generic after that. So I don't know what happened, because he did like some of the best turtle stories, and then he just kind of did like kind of phoning it in type stuff, which
Right.
was a little weird.
Well, it happens. But let's get back to you. Now, when you work with your creators and your artists, like you're obviously writing a script for them, are you doing like, let's say, a lucid type style script like Marvel, or are you doing more of a script style, like DC?
It depends. I'll usually put temporary dialogue in, and then I'm trying to get more towards like the DC style. So it depends. If I know the artist, then I'll write specifically for them and try to be as detailed as possible. So sometimes that happens, and sometimes it sometimes could just be a riff, and me and Armand are just talking on Messenger and be like, okay, this is I'm really busy at work. This is what's happening next. So
Right.
we kind of did that with Godstones 1 was like really, book 1 was like 200 pages. It was put together like scripted like pretty well. But by book 3, it's like this big like epic battle that's like 100 pages in the book. And so with that, I would just email them, okay, this is what's happening in the next few pages, and be like, cool. Then I go through afterwards and get the dialogue. I do like a dialogue pass to the finished art. But I'm trying to get like as Alan Moore as I can with
Got you. Now you have now with Sullivan Sluggers, I know you put out the Kickstarter a while ago. Came out, had a hardcover. I've heard various stories about this book. Now,
yeah, it's the first book.
Right. Now, so please elaborate.
Well, I did Sullivan Sluggers. Geez, I don't even know. I think it was. I think it started in like 2009, and then I got James Stokoe on board. And his work for hire. But in the contract, I think it was set at like 140 pages or 120 pages or something like that. And then there's the set price. So I don't know if there's a misunderstanding about it. That they would pay more because it got up to like 180 pages. But he just kept the last 20 pages for like 4 years, and then people were like, "I hope you're paying him enough," like that.
Right.
So that was rough. So when I started the campaign, finally I got the pages in and everything, and I did it. I knew the potential of Kickstarter. I set everything up way in advance with the press and sent off preview copies. And this was back when Facebook still had the virality, of things. And so I set it up, and it was like a grand slam. But he was being a jerk, so I didn't want to split it with him. And I think I didn't say it was work for hire in there. So after hiding out, for like months and months, like this guy writes this article, and then James Stokoe's right there in the comments, and I did it. I read it, Ask Me Anything, and people were like, "Should you be working with James Stokoe? Because he's got a terrible reputation for not finishing things or turning it in." I was like, "It's okay, ha ha ha," So basically, I think Image was pissed at me for not publishing with them, and then it was basically people went on 4chan and just started stalking and questioning everything I did with it. And, you know, I mean, the book was like maybe 8 months late to getting printed and getting out. And then they were just making up the worst stories about it overall.
Wow.
As far as what happens. But I did try to do be like as bohemian as possible and do all the upgrades and everything. So I made it omnibus size. And the omnibus size had like a nice slip face, and it was massive. It was like the Turtles Ultimate Collection I just held up. And that came in at about £3. And then the international shipping people just paid $30. It actually cost about $40 to ship to them. So there's about 1,000 orders. So I was the first person to, you know, try like a triple, quadruple, you know, jump into the pool, and you know, I just fell and did a belly flop because I miscalculated the international, and then they raised an issue about it and just kind of burnt me alive. But you know, Stokoe, his people, it was me messing up from inexperience and not having published before, and there was also Image Comics just throwing me under the bus.
Wow, and despite all that, that's a fantastic book. I mean, you did a great job. He did his job. You did your job. You know, that's a great looking book.
What I like about it is just a page turner. So you're just turning the pages, and you know, it just kind of keeps going in real time and moving, kind of like an Evil Dead or Army of Darkness thing. But I don't know. It's become such a political thing if you like that book or don't like that book. And you know, I mean, if you ask anyone, it's like I've done things worse than Hitler. You know. The people on Twitter, and it happened 8 years ago, you know.
Right. Because what's funny is a lot of this stuff you just mentioned, I wasn't even talking about that. Because I was talking about, I think you had overprinted and you have like a bunch of them still at a warehouse.
Yeah, the thing was, I mean, we did some promotion with people, so I think there's going to be a chance, like once it was done, to sell a little bit of the overstock. But I sold the comic stores to try to make up for the international shipping problem, and I think people got upset about that. You know, but then the overstock was destroyed, and Dark Horse has published it since then in like a normal volume. Right,
gotcha. That's a shame because, like I said, that's a gorgeous book. I mean, I have a copy on my shelf. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
I hope something good happens with it. I've been thinking about doing a sequel, but who knows? I kind of have PTSD from it, so I probably won't. Because all the same people will probably come out, you know, from under their rocks and just be like, "We own your soul."
Yeah, Jesus. No, that's okay. We're all adults here. Yeah, man. I mean, that's crazy. You know, it's funny. Like I said, I didn't even know about all that stuff. I guess I live in a bubble, so I try to stay away from all that stuff.
Yeah. Then the guy that wrote the article was hired by Image as like, you know, as a reward for the PR or whatever. And,
wow.
I mean, a lot of people, like, there's friends at Image that were, you know, like co-editors on different projects and things like that. And the guy that complained was like his roommate, you know, and it was just completely orchestrated. Right.
That's a shame. That's really a shame. All right, so let's move on to happier times. Okay. The New Brighton Archaeological Society. So, I mean, tell us a little bit about that, man. I got 2 of those books. Great books.
Yeah, that's a book that I started off as just a series of short story vignettes, you know, for the Pop Gun anthology, and then you know, it got approved for a book. And so the whole story is just like, okay, there's this group of kids, their parents are lost on this expedition, and they go with their parents, and I mean, their parents are lost, so they go to like the childhood home of their parents, which is New Brighton Manor. And around there's like this old ancient forest, and like there's a war between like, you know, like mythological creatures, and you know, they find their old parents' clubhouse, and then, you know, they discover there's like these books of magic, and their parents is nemesis, and they have to just set out to kind of stop them.
So let's get a little bit. So where did, like, all right, so, you know, as writers, you know, we pull from so many different things to like get these ideas. Like, you know, I always tell everybody, just consume as much as you can and it'll just come out as however some regurgitated, you know, insanity, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
where do you feel your greatest inspiration came for like this work?
Um, for that work, I think I just like the uniforms, and then I wanted to do something
Mm,
that was like, um, I think Bill Watterson was actually the biggest influence on it because, I kind of wanted to do something with the same energy as
mm,
like Calvin and Hobbes, and then kind of mystery to it, and then, the formality of the uniforms, and then, just mythology in general. So those are probably the main components of it.
gotcha. All right, cool. Now, um, let's talk about Gladstone School for World Conquerors. You mentioned them a little bit, but
Okay.
let's get
Yeah,
into
that's my
that.
favorite child. Okay, so you want me to talk about like the premise or?
Yeah, talk about the premise. Let us know like what's it about. Actually, take it back a little bit. Like, when did you first come up with this, and like, what was your inspiration for it?
So I was teaching English in Korea, and I think we started at like 2008.
Mm,
So the inspiration was, just there was a school where the children of the both supervillains went and trained. Um, and it was or how to be, world conqueror or supervillain. So we like line up and we had names and everything. They're kind of generic names that at first some of them still are, but they'll like their official like superhero title. Once they graduate. And yeah, I started that, and then originally went with Image, but we couldn't keep the schedule, and then we did floppies, and I think the first one sold like 5,000, and then retailers just automatically cut their orders down to about like 3,000, 2,500 per book, and then
mm,
it just wasn't sustainable, and we weren't able to keep the schedule in it.
right.
So we had Matthew Weldon come in to do book two, while Armand was going to do book three, and that's the whole reason for that. But it just ended up becoming kind of its own thing.
Mm, gotcha. Now, I missed that part. Like, who were you printing through? That you went from
Originally,
five.
it was with Image Comics originally,
Oh,
and
okay.
then yeah, we just took it to Kickstarter on our own, and then printed the books in China, did all the press for it and everything, and
Mm.
it looks better. They're really nice hardcovers.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're gorgeous books. I mean, they're like fantastic. Like, because what's funny is I have, well, you recognize
Yeah,
that,
book three.
right? So it's funny that book, because I want to talk about that book
That's
because
a beast, but that took like 6 years to make, or maybe 8 years or something, because we bit off so much. And we're trying to do so much.
I believe you. Because it's funny when I got this book, right? I got it. I opened it up and I started flipping through it, and I'm like, this is one giant fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is not gonna be good. This is gonna be terrible. And I sat down and I put it on the side, and I left it there for about a week before I said, you know what, let me read this thing. And I read it, and man, that book is awesome. That book showed so much character, there's just so much love between those characters. You can feel it, man. I mean, that book is awesome. So please tell us about the inspiration on that book, man.
200 pages, but it feels like when you read it, it feels like 10 minutes have gone by, which is nice. But I think for the first book, it was just introducing everything, and setting up the world and the universe. And the second book was like a little extension of that. And this one, we had like a cosmic quest. So it was just like throw the football in the air as high as you can, and see what you can do. So we're kind of in the wild card mode with book three, and then book four, and then with book 5 and 6, then we're gonna it's like the bookends from book one. So we're gonna tie everything back together and get to it.
Now you were saying on this book, you were basically like on the phone talking to your guy, getting it all together. Said, look, man, I'm at work. So I mean, like, how did that work out? Did he just draw the pages and then he would send them to you? You would just script them out?
Yeah. So I mean, some spots would be like, okay, so he, has these bugs or whatever, and then Speed Spectre has like his Jedi lightsaber thing, and then he goes up against this torpedo guy, and it's just talking like just a sequence of events, and it's kind of also the book is like highly inspired by wrestling and like K-pop and all that stuff too. So this is like getting to do wrestling, and it's all like our favorite. Like we love like manga and anime, and like like One Piece and Fairy Tale and these other things. So we gotta like just do everything we want to do there and get it all out of our system. So that was fun. But yeah, I think for that we were just on Gmail chat or Messenger or just emails, and he'd do it. It's like, okay, I need the next part. It's like, okay, this is what happens in the next part. And then once I got it, the colors came in, then I would have to like just sit down and just script everything and like really make sure it's the best it could be in terms of dialogue.
Cool. Now, are you working with an editor that goes through it after you put in your work?
So for Gladstones, we don't really have an editor, but I'll have friends look at it and then just try to catch everything. And then I think with book 3 too, I wrote like a lot of different versions of lines and dialogue. So I had one friend, Marlon Harris, who is just on Messenger with, and it's like, okay, run through this page, run through these lines with me to like merge like maybe 3 different versions of a line or dialogue into one. So that really helps me because it puts me on the spot, makes me like come up with it right away. And then the thing I'm working on, I'm kind of doing the same thing with another friend who's really helpful, but I'll just write like, okay, what about this line? Does this sound good, or does this version sound a little better, or should I merge them, together?
Gotcha. That's cool. I mean, yeah, that's always a hard part, getting that good reader community together. Now,
yeah, exactly. But it's helpful with the one shots we're doing. The same thing, just send it to a bunch of friends, and you read the script and you kind of have seen it for a while, and these are all written by different people. So I guess with that, I'm just more like a showrunner. I've read it, and then it's amazing if 10 people read it, like what they'll find, in the PDF, before for the letter to before it goes to print. So that's really helpful.
That's cool. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because like this channel is about it's Indie Comics Explained. So what I want to do is like explain like what we're actually doing, because you found some incredible artists to work with, and I mean obviously you had your initial issues with Stokey, and you've moved on from that. Like, so what did you do differently with this new team so you wouldn't have those issues? So you're like, look, everything is above board. We're buddies. Like, what did you do differently?
What do you mean with Gladstones, or?
Well, either Gladstones or either title. Like, what are you doing now that you're doing differently? Like what are the lessons you learned?
Well, I think when I was doing the other books, there's like Robert Kirkman, and he has like Walking Dead, and he's a millionaire and everything. But
Yeah.
you have to keep in mind, when I was doing like the original books, I was just some guy teaching Korea, and I'd make like maybe $24,000 a year. And I was doing what they were doing, putting out books, but with zero money and zero budget, So I think what's changed is like money. And then I went to Afghanistan like 2 years ago and worked there, and had like people were lobbing in mortars, and had to wear like like Kevlar, like the protective jacket or whatever, and then the helmet, and we had like guys outside our classrooms with machine guns just in case. So I don't know. I think it's just getting easier, and then also being nicer to people and chilling out like a little bit more, which is good. But it's probably money. That's the easy answer, I guess.
Yeah, it always is. I mean, unfortunately, we're very base creatures.
Yeah.
So I mean, so the new projects you're doing with Kid Nefarious, I know you did the one shot, which was awesome. So I mean, how do you work that out with the other creator? Does he like pitch you, or do you both sit down and pitch each other, like you guys are just brainstorming together, and then you just let the other guy write it? How do you go through that process?
So those took a while to come out. So I think we had those started in about 2014 or 2016, where people did them, and then I think Armand was going to draw them, or other people. So for that, we just do the artist, and then we're just friendly with different writers and people we went to school with, or do from other places, college with. But, so I mean, it's just friendly because we had a relationship before, But yeah, they're easy to work with, and they turn in great work. But I think overall they just pitched like a little synopsis, and then it's like, okay, I like this one, or try this thing, and then go with it. Just trust people to do what they do. But also, what's interesting is there's the they have the books really well. So the Skoll Brothers one shot. I just read that, and I was like, man, he really got the characters down, and paid attention to book one and all that. So that's really sweet. It's kind of fun to read your book as a fan, or just something that you made, and then just to be able to see stuff come out from it. All right, I'm rambling. So I'll let you, if I could.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, you kind of lost you.
Okay. Do you have another question, or do you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, because I got most of the stuff where the Skull Brothers, and how well your new writing team did. So how many of those are you guys looking to do? Because you did Kid Nefarious, you're doing the Skull Brothers. Are you going to go through all the various characters?
Yeah, we're going to try to. So it's a double feature. So it's like I think they're about 70 pages. So you read the Skoll Brothers one, you finish it, and then you flip it over to the other side of the comic where the back page would be, and then the cover's there, and then you start reading the next one. So there's 2 of those, and there's 4 stories. So it's the Skoll Brothers and Martian Jones, and then Mummy Girl and Ghost Girl in a book. So we did a lot with those, and then we also reached out to some people for some awesome covers, and hopefully that'll be good. But then we have one scheduled for fall, written by David Michelini, who is the co-creator of Venom.
Right.
So that's kind of cool. I've been a fan of his since I was a kid. Armand's getting to work with them. So I think our goal in the future is just kind of hire. This group was like our friends, and now we're going to hire bigger, well-known people with kind of established audiences and fan bases, and then hopefully if they come in, we can sell our back catalog and kind of help it take off a little bit more.
Gotcha. That's cool.
That's a strategy.
Well, it's a good strategy. Now.
Yeah. We've been working on it for 10 years, so at some point it's like, all right, we gotta just ramp up to drive, as fast as we can.
Try to sell some books. So
yeah.
So now you have all these one shots coming out. Now you said you have a bigger stories coming out. Now when do you expect one of the other volumes, like some of the stuff you're doing, when do you expect that to come out? Your next volume.
Sorry, so you broke up a little. So you're saying like when's book 4 coming out?
Yes. When do you expect book 4 to come out?
Okay. So with book 4, we're starting it like right after Armand finishes the David Michelini one shot, and then there might be one other one shot in there somewhere that we'll break up book 4, but he started drawing that. We're so I found like a document that had all the plotting and every idea about it, and yeah, we're gonna roll up our sleeves and hopefully get some headway on it by the end of the year. But it won't be like a 200-page like behemoth giant book. It's gonna be like 100 pages because I think a lot of people are selling like a 32-page comic on Kickstarter for like $20 or $30 in some cases, and the last one we did like the giant 200-page hardcover for like $20. So
right.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it at 100 pages and just be like completely disciplined, so it doesn't take years, and so we're making the best kind of business financial situation decision, overall.
No, I got you, man. I got you. Trust me, I know how tough it is.
What's that?
I said, trust me, I know how tough it is. I'm been self-publishing since '91, and whoa, you dropped out. I lost you. All right, so hopefully, Mark Andrew Smith will be right back in a moment. But yeah, he dropped out. But yeah, I was just telling Mark that I've been self-publishing since '91, '92, and I know how tough it is. It's a very tough business. If anyone who's interested in getting into it, and you're a writer, you're going to be experiencing, some expenditures. All right, I think he's back. Hold on. All right, he's trying to come in. All right, we lost him, but I think Mark is trying to come in. We got the little swirly thing. All right, let me wait till he actually gets back. Let me get him out of there. Hopefully he can come back in. Oh, there he is. All right, there we go. Boop. There you go. What's up, Mark? You're back.
Hey, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying you understand because of self-publishing, right?
Yeah. Because like I said, I've been self-publishing since '91, and I know how expensive it is. I pay all my artists, and you're always like, oh, damn it, trying to raise that extra buck. So I trust me. Yeah, I feel you every step of the way.
That's it'll be good to recoup, and then start buying the furniture for my house.
This is true.
I'm just kidding.
Now, when you were starting out and doing all this stuff, what was the thing you found most challenging? Did you find it harder to maybe like, I don't know, was it like writing the stories, finding an artist, doing the Kickstarter, campaigning? Because it's all there's some people are really good at one thing and not good at another. Like I'm terrible at self-promotion, but there's some people really good at it. I mean, you obviously can write.
About self-promotion, and now I think the carpet's been swept out from under. Like comic book resources is pretty much gutted, and it's just like a zombie of what it once was, and all these other places, are just shuttered. So they took away the RSS feed. Facebook is broken on purpose so that they get the advertising dollars, and there's no virality about it. So advertising is really hard, and then when you kickstart it, it's really stressful because you're just watching a screen refresh for like 30 days, and be like, why isn't this working? And you make your whole plan and everything. And then with other books, a lot of the wrangling can be pretty hard. But for me, I think it's like just trying to turn in the lettering script or right before stuff is about to go to the printer, and then just trying to keep like a decent clip or schedule, so stuff comes out consistently, which I failed at, like, because on average, I think books take like 4 years from start to finish for me to get out like a graphic novel, and then but I try to make it when you read it, it looks easy, to have done.
Yeah, well, listen, you put out great books, and these things take time,
Yeah, that's it. People awesome to do a job. But I think I wish for something like that. I think I'm a bit cursed, So it's like how dare you know the universe, and then just you know on the side.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit again.
Okay. So,
All right. Now you froze. Hold on.
okay. Good.
No, it's better. What happened? Oh, I lost you. There you go. So yeah, Mark's having technical difficulties. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. All right. There we go. All right. Oh, okay. He's connecting back in there. All right. He's trying to come in. Yeah. He just moved into the place. So I guess he's just having a hard time with his new internet or whatever. I don't know what he's doing on his phone, but yeah, these things happen. Sorry, guys. So anyway, talking about indie comics, like I said, it's very expensive. You got to take care of your people. You got to take care of your artists. You got to take care of your, whoever's working for you, and just be sure that you outline very carefully with your artist what you're gonna do. It's like sometimes you can only afford X amount a week. It's like whatever it is, whatever that dollar amount is, and maybe you set up a deal with your artist. You do 1 page a week, and in 52 weeks you'll have 52 pages, which is about 2 comics. For a lot of people, a lot of people like to do 24-page books, so that'll be 2 books. Sometimes you can do 2 pages a week, 3 pages a week. Depends what your artist is asking for and what you're able to afford. Okay, I think Mark is back. There we go.
Yeah, so I heard that. I think one piece of advice I would definitely give to people is like, don't do an epic story that's supposed to be like 8 volumes or whatever. Just keep it as simple as possible. If you can do it done in one, that's the best. Or maybe have a sequel, or 3 volumes or trades maximum. Otherwise, it's heartbreaking when you set out for like a grand story and you can't quite finish it. So that's one thing I would advise.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I'm 1,000 pages into the Oswald Chronicles, so
yeah,
it's nuts, and I'm pretty sure I got another. I'm pretty sure I got another 1,500 pages to go.
Yeah, when you make it like so epic.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like lobbing different things and seeing which one makes it through, and then, maybe 1 out of 6 will make it to the end. But I think it's amazing when like some of the Image books, they get to like issue 30, and that's actually a big accomplishment. They've kind of done it. So with Gladstone, I think that's the one that's going to definitely make it all the way, and hopefully maybe beyond that. Yeah, I mean, I think we're probably like in issue 22. We put like the page count numbers on it, and have about 500 pages of it. But you're 1,000 pages in with your book, which is an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment of insanity.
Yeah.
It's just a little nuts, but I have fun at it. It's my hobby. It's my very expensive hobby.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Hopefully, I think that's another thing. Like, I'm really reluctant to read new comics right now because nothing finishes. So for me to really get into a book, it has to have been out for like 10 years and have been finished already. It's like one of the criteria, because I wait like 4 years for anything. And that's also the downfall because people aren't supporting it. But the opposite is true in manga because it never finishes and they just keep going with like Naruto and One Piece, and it's like, well, I can't read this either because it never finishes. You know?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I love Terry Moore. I never buy any of his single issues, but man, that guy put out an omnibus.
Did he finish it?
Oh, he's finished several.
Yeah. Strangers in Paradise, but I haven't read it. But
yeah, he did that one. He's done one called Echo. He did one like a gorilla and his girl, something like that. He's done a few of them, and I mean, and I love when they're omnibuses. You know, it's just a whole thing. You know, one book. I'm like, yes, give me that.
I think I read like a digital PDF first.
All right. I think Mark froze on me again. Yep, he's about to drop out. All right. Yeah, there he is. It's refreshing. Good. Let's pull him out of there. Bring him back in. Now he's still trying to refresh.
Like big, hard to get a clear image.
Yeah. I got you now. Can you see me?
Wait, what's that?
No, because you dropped out.
Yeah, I said I'm like the Bigfoot. It's hard to get me in the frame.
All right. Well, look, we've been at this for almost 40 minutes, so let's wrap it up. So, I mean, Mark, okay. where can people find you? Where can people find your books? I mean, I'm going to put all this stuff in the show notes, but, you know, let everybody know, where can they find you on social media and stuff? Where can they find your books?
Just search for Gladstone School for World Conquerors, and then we also have a nice website called gladstoneschool.com. Mm-hmm. You can order all our trades on there, and then we're also going to be on Kickstarter pretty soon. I think in about a month, you know, we should launch the Gladstone's double features.
Cool. That sounds awesome. All right. So, folks, let me just tell you right now, those books, those Gladstone books are incredible. Go out, don't buy one, don't buy two, buy them all because they really are worth having, you know? So thank you so much and have a great night. And Mark, just hold on and you know, we'll be talking to all of you soon. And I'll be seeing you guys next week with a new artist. I'll be talking to you soon. Have a good night, guys.